Alrighty, baby, back with part 2 of our episode with the founder of Dad Water, Bryce Morrison, the official tequila water of the Man to Man podcast this summer. Only 100 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 carbonation, and 5.5% alcohol. You know, I love to hear that, little Timmy. I'm rocking with Rodney, which is blood orange, my personal favorite. All the cans have different names to them. Rodney is blood orange, Gary pineapple jalapeno, Tom is lime, and Steve is grapefruit. Click the link in the episode description to find a store near you. And Dad Water, again, is the official drink for us this summer. Let it be the official drink for you. All great tasting flavors. And before we get into the pod, I'm going to end it with a dad joke. Please don't leave afterwards. What did the ocean say to the beach? What'd he say, little Timmy? Nothing. He just waved. Now let's get into the pod. UFC superstar Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, dude. What's going on, baby?
What's up, everybody?
Alrighty, what up, everybody? Welcome into Man to Man podcast. Today we're switching things up and talking man to woman. Please welcome on the show singer, songwriter, social media star Lauren Gray. We know you like the DJs.
I am okay.
$1.99 for a banana bag, bro.
When did you decide that you wanted to do Dad Water, though?
I want to say it was about it was probably close to like a year and a half, 2 years ago, because last year we soft launched in a few states. I think Tennessee was one of them, right? So you all have had it for not quite a year, but it'll be like at least had it like 3/4 of a year. We finally kind of sat down and went, okay, you know, like, what are we going to do here if we wanted to do it? And then it just kind of took a life on its own. We actually ended up partnering with like our local, almost friends that we use for a lot of our merch, like locally. They've never done any beverage development before or brand. They do branding, but nothing like this. And we had big companies, and we're like, well, we're going to probably go with this big company, right? And you know, my buddies was like, give us a shot. And I'm like, well, that's fine. I'll hear your pitch, but I'm just telling you ahead of time. Yeah. We're probably going with the company that knows what they're doing. And he was like, part of his pitch, he said, it just struck home with me. He said, you know, Dad Water seems like a brand that should be developed like sitting around drinking tequila with friends, not around a corporate boardroom table. I was like, man, you're right. And so we came out of that meeting and actually went, I think we need to use these guys. And for real, like when we did the Dad Water branding, they were trying to get it. It was in my head of what I wanted the branding to kind of be, but getting it out of my head was what their job was. And we sat down literally on the floor drinking tequila, straight tequila, while we're brainstorming. He's like going through pictures. Oh, it was awesome. He was going through pictures on his computer, like, just tell me if you like this, if you don't like it, what you like about it. And the funniest part of that whole thing was, you know, the little symbol that you see on top of our logo, we kind of call him Mr. Agave, right? He's got an agave plant for hair. He's aviators, throwback, and a sweet stash. Yep. And I'm like, he was prefacing before he showed us this, like, don't put too much stock into this. He's like, it's, you know, we're just kind of messing around. You could tell he was almost like embarrassed to show us. And he showed it to us, and I kind of looked at my sister.
Same logo?
Like, the same logo. And it wasn't even, the Dad Water font wasn't even there. It was just that symbol. And he showed that symbol, and I kind of looked at my sister. I'm like, that's it, man. It's just goofy enough, but it's got a little swag to it.
Yeah.
Where I could see that on a shirt, and I'd be like,
did you have that like that awkward silence? You look over immediately, you're like,
for sure,
that ain't it. I want to see the next. Wait, hold up.
I kind of like this one.
I kind of looked at it. Yeah, I'm like, should I like this? I'm like,
let me ask you.
It did.
Which option number was that one?
Honest to God.
First one.
Number one.
Yeah.
I looked at it. I'm just like, you guys got it, man. And it was funny because then the designer, her name was Courtney, and she was just like, thank God, because I really liked it and I was proud of it. I did it.
It's cool
I was
that you
just
got a
hoping you
female's
guys
touch
did.
on that too,
absolutely.
right? You know?
Like she got it. Like, and it was mostly from just asking questions. We were talking earlier about how parenting back in the 70s and 80s was so different than it is now, and it had this cool retro, like, legendary feel to it. And then we came up with like the saying, which is legends in their own minds. Like that's our thing for Dad Water, which is so true. You think of a dad, we think we're way cooler than probably, and then our wives and our kids are always like, you're not really that cool. But in my head,
I'm cool.
I'm a badass. So it's
The
awesome.
cool dads are what makes the coolest people on earth.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
real.
It's fun. Like, and being a dad it's literally the best job on the
You're
planet.
talking to a couple of
It's
guys
awesome.
that grew up without fathers and they kind of dipped out a little bit. Cool dads are where the fuck it's at.
Yeah.
You know, dude.
Well, but then that's what makes you. And then when you become a dad, like you see, it's like the best thing ever. But in an era where it's almost like that's not a focus and not made as cool. We're like, we want to make being a dad cool as shit again, man. Because that used, to your point, like that used to be the thing. Is your dad was like, he was the enforcer.
Yeah.
He was also the one that when your mom wasn't looking,
Yeah.
right? He'd
Let
hand
you
you like,
do.
all good.
dessert a little early or something before. And, like, so it kind of played
Maybe let
these
you try the
multiple
bottle that
roles.
says dad on it.
Exactly. Like he'd be the one to give you your first sip of whiskey early,
Yeah.
right? Like, all right, don't tell your mom.
Yeah.
Like those kind of things is part of being a dad is you're the goofball of the house, you're the enforcer of the house. You got all these things. And our roles as parents are so different, but so important, each one. So
That's
did the
why
go ahead.
I was gonna say that's why I think the playoff of Mom Water and Dad Water are just
Yeah.
so good, and I think that's what's gonna help in the long run too.
yep.
And so I don't know. It's the whole story is great.
My question was, what came first, the messaging or the logo? And then how much did you play in I guess its entirety? How much are you playing off a strategy from Mom Water? But I'm curious about the brand messaging or the logo. Which one came
So
first?
the logo was the first thing we did. So we went, okay,
Yeah.
we got we just still call him Mr. Agave. That's the only thing we say. So the Mr. Agave logo, and we're like, okay, cool. Well, what kind of retro font do we want with that, right? And how do we want that logo to look? And we all kind of collaborated, and then it came up. We're like, we want that old school, almost like Atari look, right?
Yeah.
And so we did that. And then from there, we're like, okay, well, now again, we want this retro feel and all that. Like, what are the things that we just started looking at
Still just
inspirational
on the
pictures,
ground,
man.
you know?
Like old dads with a mullet on a 3-wheeler. And we're like, yeah, that's Dad Water. And then we'd see something else like, nah, that's not Dad Water. And so from that, it just started to, and then the legends in their own minds. Kudos to, again, the firm that we used, Branded by Woods. They're actually a local brand, Huntingburg, Indiana, right? And they kind of came up with some of these different things. Like, what do you think of this? I'm like, dude, that is perfect. Like, that just fits. So it was very much a collaborative effort. And it was because they got to know what was in my head, and then they brought their own things to the table that fit. They fit that vision.
Are you talking about another branding company?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we work with them, and I'm like, I've got this vision in my head. My issue is it's always hard to get it out of my head onto paper.
Yeah.
And so that was their job, is to help pull it out. And so we went to old like Burger King commercials, stuff in the 70s and 80s, and just would study it and go, what makes this retro thing cool? Like, why are my eyes drawn to that? Why is an old muscle car just as cool as a brand new Tesla? Like, what makes it cool? There's certain things about that retro that is just like iconic. Like, the design was good. And we tried to like emulate that in our brand to say, well, how do our cans do the same thing?
Question about the coloring, because I know that's so important. Why blue and yellow or blue and goldish?
Honestly, that was another kind of random. We were looking at it going, we didn't want it to clash with a lot of our cans. We actually had the can designs kind of like they presented us with a lot of these designs, and we're like, man, that's perfect. Like, they are the company that we work with, and again, it went back to because they knew us so well, that we all knew each other. They knew me better. We met with several of them. And some of them, when I pitched the idea of like, this is kind of what I'm talking about, you could tell they were like trying to talk me out of it and go, well, I don't know if they'll get it.
Had to sneak that Pacer yellow in there though.
Yeah,
It's such a good color combo. And I'm, God, 8 years out of college now. I can't even grow facial hair, almost 30. But ATO was blue and yellow, that exact color.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite color combinations. Man.
Yeah, it honestly, by chance. There were no, you have some of these big firms that put like, well, okay, what makes you hungry? It's red, the color red. Like, we didn't do any of that. We're just like, what doesn't clash with our cans, makes sense, got a good vibe to it, looks a little retro. And they presented a few options, and we were all just like that. We love the blue and gold.
I have a question on just the fact of like doing events. I know you do some events in Indianapolis and stuff.
Yeah.
For Dad Water, do you have any upcoming like big events that maybe people should watch out for?
Well, I know
coming up?
one for sure. Like, y'all need to enter. Like, we're going to be doing a sweet giveaway, a sick giveaway for like 4th of July this year.
Okay.
If you've never seen a cooler cart, just go check out Cooler Carts with a K. But it's basically a motorized, it's got full on shocks and everything, It's a cooler
Hell yeah.
that you sit on with like full on handlebars. You ride the cooler around. It's
Nice.
badass.
Yeah, yeah.
So we give that stuff away. What we're
When
trying
is that
to
happening?
that is it's going to probably be timing around like the month of June, and we'll probably give it away around the 4th of
Well,
July.
I mean, that's when we're going to be working with you guys. When this comes
Yes.
out, it'll be what, second week of
No, June 5th,
June 5th?
first week.
Yeah,
in
it'll be.
June.
We'll probably be so
Yeah.
we're we do some partners with some social media influencers called Redneck Reviews. They're great dudes, and we're getting because of course I have to have a cooler cart for me. Like when we were doing it, I was like, all right, get 2 of them.
Got to make sure it works well. you know?
Yeah, and so we're gonna have 2 of them. We're gonna fly these guys in, and we're gonna do some like kind of co-branded content.
Nice.
And their cooler cart's gonna have a little bit of a different design than the one we're giving away versus mine. And so it'll be like that month you'll start to see some fun content come out. But then like in terms of like our events, we actually don't do a ton of like dad water only. And the reason is for us, we're trying to, make good marketing decisions, and our dollar goes further because it's easy to do. The biggest thing for us right now is actually tasting. We have to get people to sample dad water because most people, if they see it and go tequila,
Yeah.
they don't understand
It's literally the smoothest tequila that you'll ever drink.
Yeah, and you don't like my light beer drinking buddies who drink nothing but Busch Light actually like it.
Yeah.
And that's a cool thing for us. What we're really trying to do with Dad Water is give light beer drinkers that are the most brand loyal people ever, right? If you're a Busch Light drinker, you're not touching the other stuff usually. It's Busch Light or Miller Light or whatever.
Especially up there in good old Indianapolis. Indiana.
Oh God, yeah, we're in the middle of Busch Light country.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is for us is like, well, they're brand loyal. Why do they drink Busch Light versus IPAs? Or like you drink it because it's light and you can drink a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Right. If you liked big flavor, you drink IPAs and stouts and all that. So what Dad Water does is it scratches that itch of I want to kind of try these RTDs, but I need an RTD I can drink a bunch of.
What's an RTD?
Like a ready to drink cocktail. So that's kind of the category that we're put into. So the newest category, RTDs, these didn't exist 6 years ago, right? It was beer or what?
White Claw.
Seltzers kind of started to get into this RTD to go, hey, beer drinkers, you can do something else over here that's carbonated in a can that's not beer. Because a lot of people don't like the taste of beer. They drink it because it's the only option in a can. That's it. So now everybody's putting everything in a can. So the whole category has exploded with options. What we're trying to do is appeal to the light beer drinker that says, if you want to get into these other RTD things, they're not going to go drink a bunch of like margaritas in a can. That's not what they're going to drink.
Almost for guys, I don't know if that's just for me, but I almost rather, if I'm going to drink anything liquor, I would rather have tequila than vodka. Yeah. So I think it's like, I don't know if that's just for the guys, most guys, or did you think about that as in terms of?
Well, you would think whiskey too, right? You're a big whiskey guy.
Yeah, but if I'm drinking, like I don't want to do like.
But it's not light though at the same time.
Whiskey makes you hot, right?
Yeah,
and I also don't want like whiskey just in water and drinking that outside.
And whiskey
isn't a good concoction.
That's just
No,
doesn't
and
seem right.
we had talked about it because I'm a big bourbon and Scotch guy. I like that stuff, but if you're mixing with fruit, number one, you don't think of whiskey as mixing with fruit as much, especially watered down. Whereas tequila being a clear spirit, right? You don't. It's not. It doesn't have. If you got a bourbon, you're immediately dealing with tasting notes of chocolate and caramel and vanilla. Well, that's hard to pair with fruit. And so if you're doing a cocktail, that's a little bit harder. Whereas with tequila, it's a clear spirit and it's got a lot of like vanilla, which goes with about everything. So that was kind of our thinking when we did it, was like, hey, let's look at tequila. But to that point, I'm gonna assume that we probably got an age gap difference between us. Like I'll be 48 this year. My generation, you say the word tequila, and the first reaction is like, ugh, because grew up on Cuervo shots and yakking your brains out after a night of doing those, and then you're like, I'm never gonna touch tequila again. The younger generation, when we go out and we do like bar activations and stuff at like a college bar, and you say the word tequila
shots,
totally different. They're like, ooh, tequila. They're excited about it because y'all have good tequila now. Like there's good tequila out that you can drink that's not just the well tequila that everybody was doing back in the day. So the options and the quality of tequila has gotten better. And so the younger a drinker is these days, the more apt that they like tequila. And tequila is the fastest growing spirit in the United States right now.
Oh
So
man, I
it's
remember
crazy.
when I used to drink Bird Dog, like black raspberry Bird Dog in college at UT, and I would just be so hungover, and it was just all that sugar in there.
I'm just looking forward to taking it out on the boat this summer.
Yeah.
And
I've been
just
going
'cause
fishing a lot recently, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's like how I've been spending my Saturdays. Super
'Cause
therapeutic, man.
we
just
have
going out there.
I have a lake house up on Wawasee. It's
Nice.
northern Indiana, and that's my biggest. I'm getting cases of this.
You gonna
'Cause
invite me this time, bro?
I invite this guy like for the last
Never been,
6
though.
years,
Never been.
Really?
and he just keeps ducking me.
Never been. I don't know if you can answer this or not, but with the tequila that you found that you put into dad water, I mean, do you go to Mexico? Do you try
So-
to figure out which tequila, like what is? The
We
tequila?
did. So the crazy thing about tequila, to even put
Is
the-
that something that like you keep a secret just because you don't want to put other people in game?
we don't. So like the thing about tequila, I mean, to a certain degree, there's two types of tequila. What you're talking about, 100% blue agave tequila. If you use that and put in an RTD, like a can, good luck. Your cost is going to be through the roof, and you have to can it in Mexico. You are not allowed legally to even do any canning of 100% blue agave outside the country of Mexico.
Blue agave.
Yeah,
So
like-
for us casuals, you
All the
probably
good
know
tequila.
all the good tequila.
It's all
That's what
100%
you're
blue
talking
agave.
about.
It's a varietal of agave that grows in a certain there's different agave plants, and blue agave is the most common, and it's also one of the better ones. And so if you look at most of your tequilas, it'll say 100% blue agave, which means it's not mixed with anything.
I like the spicy tequila. That's why I like the pineapple jalapeno.
Yeah. So we couldn't use blue agave tequila. There's a product where basically they take and they have certain recipes where they have a certain percentage of blue agave that you can use, and those are all kind of everybody's got their own proprietary recipe for that. We went through like 4 or 5 because with mom water, you could probably use any vodka you want. I mean, vodka is literally meant to be tasteless.
Yeah.
Right. We've switched vodka 3 times. You can blind
Really?
it. You ain't gonna do. It's no different. So it's like that's more of probably a cost thing, and because the quality is the exact same thing. We're buying that stuff at 192 proof. It's grain. It's ethanol. Like that's what you do. And so with tequila, vast difference in tequila. Like if you get, we had 4 different ones, and some were like, this ain't even drinkable.
Yeah.
It's terrible. We found a really good company that we partner with that has a distiller. He's from Mexico, and he has his own distillery now. He was leasing one, family recipe, and he's like, this is what I do.
Nice.
And they have the ability to ship it in bulk. Because like tequila comes with its own, it's really difficult to work with because before we even put the word on any of our stuff, we have to have the Mexican government's approval. They control the word tequila. That country has basically a trademark on the word tequila.
See, that's interesting to
It's
me.
wild.
Yeah.
And so even if where we produce it, they have to approve that facility, which means we have to wait on the Mexican government, which if you know anything about Mexican government, it's not exactly organized.
Yeah.
Sometimes who you got to pay off to sign
how long
something.
do you think you're lasting in Ciudad Juarez? We've talked about this.
What's
before.
that?
How long do you think you'd last in Ciudad Juarez? Like over under 10 days? It's like the most dangerous place in Mexico.
Under. Maybe it depends on if I can like bribe people with dad water. I
Yeah,
don't know. I'd be like, here, what's up, man? I'm part of the
Bring a
culture.
pallet.
I'm helping y'all out. I'm providing jobs.
Yeah.
Like
I'm bringing it back. to
Yeah,
Houston
people
City.
distill it. We're mass tequila down here.
He's
We
over
order
10
it by like
days
the
with that
truckload.
strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably like, who are those other 2 white dudes? I don't know
Yeah.
them, bro.
But they got a whole pallet of this good stuff.
Exactly. I'm like,
He's just
listen,
keeping it all for himself. He's trying to last, dude.
I've got some currency you might be interested in.
So, are you guys working with the same professional sports teams? Then is that kind of the play, or you?
Yeah, so
or you
far.
don't want to be so much of the copycat. And
Yeah,
kind
honestly,
of-
for us with Dad Water, here's the cool thing about Dad Water. We're kind of quirky, right? So we do this last year. We did a sponsorship with Murders Row Axe Throwers, the #1 axe throwing team in the world.
Nice.
Right? That's like just fun. We've been talking to professional bass fishermen, right?
Nice.
Because they're like, Dad Water, it's a fishing. Like it's the first thing you do with your kid. I think when you have a kid, you're like, we're going fishing, man. You just stand out. You usually have a few, or whether it's you and your buddies, like it's synonymous. It's like golf. You can't golf without having
Some type
an
of
alcohol
drinks.
drink in your hand.
Yeah.
So we tend to like some of those. Plus, your dollar goes further, and it's helping them more. We're not necessarily helping the Dallas Mavericks. Like they're going to get anybody will fill our spot when we terminate that contract. Somebody else going to come in, no big deal. But the pro bass fisherman that's looking for somebody to,
dude. Now
to help them out,
now you're thinking.
they're helping. Like it's helping them, and they're trying to grow their sport, right? The pro bass fishermen, they're trying to grow their sport and make it to the level of everything else, which means they're way more apt to work with you and do things. They're normal people. So we kind of look at some of those. I mean, honestly, for us, it's still going to be the easiest thing for us is we do a lot of like wine fests, and we do a lot of like we do country music fests. We're huge at country music fests. We do one called Country Thunder. We just got done. We got back from one in Phoenix earlier this year. We've got one in Wisconsin, and we got one in Florida.
We were talking to you when you were out there.
Yeah. I had to tow the she shed out there. It was a long tow. Yeah, we still think like small business. I'm still the one towing our stuff out. We don't hire anybody yet. So like Country Music Fest is great because people can come up and they can sample our product right then and there, and then they can buy it at the bar right there. That's the most important stuff for us,
cool.
right? If we're at the Pacers, somebody might see it. And they're going to see it on the billboard. They'll go, oh, that's funny.
But then they'll just go be like, nah, I think I'm going to go grab a Bud Light.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Right? They don't like when we have a chance to sample someone on Dad Water, even at a store, at your local store, we do a sampling. The amount of people that turn around and go to the shelf and buy it is huge.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually, because even if you or I went to a Preds game and we'll go check out, I don't know, say a Dad Water was at the Preds.
Yep.
I look at that and I'm like, you know what? Let's just get the Bud Light because it's still gonna be fucking $15.
Exactly.
Whatever we get.
You're not going to try something there for $15 and then you don't like it.
Right.
You're going to go with what you know.
Whereas you are on aisle 12, you're looking left and right. And hopefully no one's looking at me. That looks cool, especially if the branding is cool.
Yeah.
The packaging. And I'm looking at Dad Water. Well, what the hell is that? I don't even know what the fuck that is. But you know what? I'm gonna try it.
So that's what we're working now, like on doing being able to have everybody's doing 4-packs.
Yeah.
I don't want to do 4-packs, man. We're gonna do 6-packs.
6-packs.
Bring a 6-pack back.
Yeah.
You got to have a 6-pack, right?
Let's go.
It's like Dad's only 6-pack.
Well, we gotta ask like the biggest question about Dad Water. So Mom Water is the 4 different names.
Yep.
Dad Water has the 4 different names. So
Yep.
who is Steve Grapefruit, Tom Lime, Rodney Blood Orange, and then Gary Pineapple Jalapeno?
Yeah. So the main 2 that we decided to do is some of them pretty random. Steve and Rodney's kind of loosely based off of John's dad, but for the most part, it's like Gary and Tom were 2 staples we had to have. We wanted to put our personal spin on it. So Gary's my dad. He was an art teacher for 40 years, high school art teacher, loved music, and so that it's kind of a nod to an old album, like an old record player. And Tom, which is my father-in-law, Jill's dad. He's a farmer for his whole life. He was always the one that would come and like help me with my yard. So it's kind of got that John Deere feel to the can, like a John Deere Busch Light can. And, it looks like somebody's mowed our symbol into their grass on it.
Yep.
So, Steve was a total random. I kind of joked. It actually worked out well because my uncle is Tom, and his brother, my dad, Gary, and their best friend's name was Steve. So I'm like, technically speaking, that it fits there. I was used to hearing that as a kid. Gary, Tom, and Steve, but we kind of random. We just wanted to be like quintessential, really generic, old school dad name.
You didn't want to be selfish and throw Bryce on there?
No, because Jill didn't want to either in the very beginning. So like we joke, Jill is the inside of our Mom Water can. I'm the outside. So I'm the left brain creative guy. Jill's the palate. So in the beginning, I was like, cool, we got to put your name on a can. It's got to be a Jill. She's like, you are not putting my name on a can. You got to think back. Jill's the I don't want the spotlight on me person.
Right.
And so I said, fine, we're going to put
Kara's
Julie.
like, what about me, dude?
Yeah, we're going to put Julie on the can. Well, the funny part about Julie is that's what our kids call, that's like her alter ego. So it started out as when she went in vacation mode, right? They called her Julie, and then it turned into maybe if she's had too many Mom Waters, she became Julie. So then we decided to put our mom's names. So like we just had Kathy come out, which is a new Mom Water flavor.
Nice.
That's my mom.
What flavor is that?
That is blackberry lime, which is fire.
We gotta try that.
John's mom is Mary, right? That's apple melon. That's a new flavor that came out. Jill's mom will be making an appearance next year.
Nice.
Undisclosed flavor. That's going to be fire. And then Carol, like John's wife, Bobby Joe, her mom is Carol. And so that's a seasonal Mom Water that comes out every holiday. So we always kind of joke that like Carol's only in town.
How old are your children?
So I've got a 19-year-old. She's a freshman in college. She played golf this last year. And then my middle one, so that my oldest one's Trajan. My middle one is Jalen. He's getting ready to graduate. He'll be a senior in high school next year. Nice. And then our youngest is McKenna. And McKenna.
Yeah, shout out McKenna.
Exactly. Shout out to McKenna. McKenna, she will be an 8th grader next year. Nice, so it's like 19, 17, and 13.
What was your oldest? Trajan?
Yeah, Trajan.
Trajan? That's a unique name. Where does he go to school at?
He went to Vincennes, so VUJC, old home of Sean Marion, if you remember back to the Matrix, right? He went there.
Because if I were him, dude, you know what I'm thinking as a 19-year-old? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got a couple of free cases in the basement. Dad might be cool with it.
I know.
I got you guys on the hookup this weekend. Come to my place. We'll throw some Xbox.
So it's funny, like early on, I was like, man.
Some Xbox.
Hey, I game, we all game. I was like the original gamer. Like I grew up in the Atari in my house. I went through every gaming system there was. From Dreamcast, PlayStation 1.
What was was Atari the little stick one where you
the
little stick right
yeah.
there? Yeah,
and then you had like Super Breakout with the little like little paddle thing on it and stuff. Like we had them all the way up to now, like with Xboxes and Switches and PS5s all over our house. So it was funny as we got into this, I kind of told my kids, I'm like, listen, I get it. I was a kid, once, but just make sure you make, like, you're going to make dumb decisions. Try to just minimize them and make sure they're not really bad, dumb decisions. Because, we're an alcohol company. It'd probably not be the best thing in the world if our kid is getting DUIs. So thankfully for us, like our kids, they all got a great head on their shoulders. Shout out to them. I'll give them a little bit of props. They're really not partiers. They're like me. Like I grew up that same way. And then the older I got, and it was like, it's time to catch up now. So I don't know which is better.
And Jill is over there thinking like, hey, I know what the fuck you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Right? Bryce has started his own little thing over here. Don't get your shit twisted. I run this shit. Okay?
Oh yeah. Mother hen runs a house. There's no doubt about that.
Oh man, I've piss break, and then we want to do a game with you presented by Dab Water. I don't know if anybody else has got to take a piss.
Sweet, go for it.
Got to take a piss.
I think it's just you.
I think we're gonna do a little.
Go for it. Yeah, been drinking that Dab Water.
Yeah. Pacer Nation. Let's go.
Hell yeah, Pacer Nation. So what did you have done?
I tore my patellar tendon.
Oh shit!
It's the bottom tendon that
holds your kneecap in or whatever. Damn.
your bottom of your leg.
How'd you do that?
I fell down a flight of stairs.
There's nothing cool.
I slipped on like the last 2 steps.
Oh shit!
On a staircase, and my knee just hit the ground first, and
damn,
completely tore it. But
damn,
doing better now.
Well, that's good. How long ago did you have? All right.
I had surgery a month ago.
Okay.
And then should be another probably month when I get back to normal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this time we'll definitely hang this up. This is sick.
Yeah, they turn out so cool. It just gives a good vibe. It's like makes me happy. I like lights. It's hilarious. Like even around our home, instead of like regular landscape lights, I'm like, can we get lights that change colors? Like so I can change them. Like so right now, for Pacers game, I'm gonna do like blue and yellow around the house, shit like that.
Are you guys big Pacers fans in the household?
Yeah, it's hilarious because of the partnership, right?
Yeah.
My kids, my wife, Kara, her family, my brother, he's in the business. All of us have I followed the Pacers for a long time. None of the rest of my family really cared much about NBA.
You see what I got up
Now
there?
they do. Oh, hell yeah.
Reggie Miller, baby.
Hell yeah.
Favorite player
Reggie.
all time, Reggie.
Yep.
I got put on the Pacers. Again, I was born in Seymour, but moved to Nashville when I was fairly young. But, I mean, I was big on we had a Rick Smits. My dad had a Rick Smits poster.
Duncan Dutchman,
with,
baby.
how tall you were. We would compare it and put
Yep.
a pencil on there. Jamal Tinsley. I mean, shit. Who was it? Reggie.
Yep.
Jermaine O'Neal. Who else was it? I mean, obviously Ron Artest. And who am I thinking of? The thug himself, Steven Jackson. Gotta love some Steven Jackson, dude.
So that's
Are they hooking you up with any tickets though, dude?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What's funny is
Are you going to any of the games?
I don't. So usually I'll find out as it gets closer. Now this weekend's gonna be interesting because Indy 500, like they're saying, there's no hotels in all of Indianapolis. Everyone's booked, so they're thinking that they might have to put up the Celtics and them in Bloomington.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because the Indy 500's on Sunday. Yeah. Our games are on Saturday and Monday.
I was thinking of you.
Wild.
We should go one or
something like that,
and not even go to the game. If we just get in a hotel and just go to
you guys want to go to a game, especially next year. We can get you tickets
for sure. But
we can get you on the court pregame, like where the players are warming up.
Man, that'd be so cool.
So I've got a video. It's still like my favorite part, maybe of this whole sponsorship, where we went to a game last year, and we always they'll get us on the court so we'll sit in the first row while the players are like right there warming up and stuff. And I went with Trajan, you saw my oldest, and then two of his buddies, I think, or I can't remember who else was there. And we're sitting there, and TJ McConnell is warming up. It's like my favorite pacer.
Yeah.
TJ's warming up, and he's doing these drills against a guy, one of his like kind of handler guys that just kind of warms up against him playing defense, and TJ go around him and finish. And he's coming back on one of them after he did that, and Trajan like looked at him, he was like, I can lock you up. And TJ looked at him and went,
come on.
Me? You can lock me up?
Yeah.
Trajan's like, yeah. He was just kind of laughing. He's like, you want to try?
Yeah.
Trajan's like, yeah. He went out there. So Trajan's like playing it. He went right around him, just like scored and just kind of like, in TJ fashion, was like, yeah, nice try.
Yeah.
Kind of like just enough of a smirk where you knew he was
looks
like,
over to you. You want to get next? You're like,
yeah, no, I was
good,
like, I'm good.
Yeah,
yeah, I'll just shoot it.
I still have a house in Indianapolis. We rent it out for Airbnb, and I've already saved game 6 for it. So we probably will go to game.
You saved game 6 for it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
You don't even have to go to the game, bro.
Oh, I'm not going to Indianapolis if we're not going to the game,
Let's go to
bro.
the casino.
No, we're going. No, we're not going down
Going
to
to the game,
We're
baby.
going to the game.
Really?
Game 6. It was the same one that this one is against LeBron.
Minus 900 is so disrespectful, man. It's so cool
man.
being the underdog, dude.
Dude, the whole last series
Yeah.
did nothing but just light a fire under
You know
me.
what's
I'm like,
funny?
this is ridiculous.
I'm like a writer for the company called Playmaker. It's a sports media company in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And we're like a podcast company now. So we created Shaq's new podcast, The Big Podcast,
Nice.
with Adam Lefkoe. Our second biggest podcast is Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, the roommates show up in New York.
Yeah.
So everyone follows me.
Yep. Which I really like their show. Like I love
really
Brunson.
good.
I if he was on my team, like I love his demeanor.
Yeah.
He's not like he's great. And really Josh Hart, the same thing, other than when he dissed Indianapolis and said, it's a shithole or whatever.
Reggie
he said.
came back at him. That was hard. last time.
Exactly.
You see
Yeah.
that, dude?
But I like him. Like now Dante, not a fan.
Not a big fan. But what if we snag Dante on our
Oh my
team?
God. Yeah, that'd be all right. That'd be all right.
We'll take him.
Okay.
We'll
He's
take
that guy, like I'm sure that every other NBA team thinks of Tyrese and TJ, right?
Yeah.
Cannot stand it, but when you're on your team,
Yeah.
We'll take
down
him.
with that. Yeah, no, I used to be like funny because back in the day, before I was a Pacers fan, I was like a Seattle Supersonics back when Sean Kemp was in the league because he was just like, it was fun to watch. And then when KG came in the league, I was a huge T-Bulls fan. And so I kind of followed, I followed players as much as anything. And then that slowly kind of shifted into, because I could never watch them on TV. And I'm like, wow, so then I just went hardcore Pacers, like throughout the same years you were watching the Reggie years and all that stuff. So it's kind of funny. And then, we were joking the other day, we're like, there might be a mom water factor to the finals this year. Think about 2 of the 4 teams that are in the finals. It's the Mavericks and the Pacers.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
The only 2 teams that we
And
did
Mom Water's
deals
still
with.
there right now with the Mavs.
Yep. This is the last season. Like, we're not
Yeah.
renewing it for next
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
But yeah, if you think about it, it's like
Battles of the waters.
those are the only 2 teams that we did deals with, man.
My favorite player in the NBA right now is Luka. I love Luka.
Yeah,
I
Luka's-
love his demeanor. I mean, his humor. He's just so funny. He's like, oh shit. So we'll see what
I'm
happens.
becoming a huge Anthony Edwards fan.
Are you? Me
Just
too.
because
I
of-
keep watching the post game interview.
Yes.
It's the funniest shit.
He's a real dude.
We've been losing for 20 years.
Yes, goddamn. What do you think?
Hey, damn, I did so bad. I shot 6 for
that press
24.
conference is one of my favorite press conferences I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I love Anthony Edwards because he is super real. What's on his head's coming out his mouth.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to he's like, nah, he even said you see the other one where he's like, man, I was
I'm
ass
trash.
tonight.
Yeah.
6 for
It's like
24.
6 for 24. What
Yeah.
the hell?
Oh, fuck.
Like 2 for 10.
Yeah, fuck.
That's so funny.
That's like it's been a long 9 years. Man, fuck your 9 years.
Yeah. Well, they want to say the Jordan comparison. And I'm like, obviously, yeah, from an accolades, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But from a style, 100%. He's the closest style. Like I would say Kobe was right there too, right? Where he's got the fadeaway. He locks up people on defense. Like very similar style to Michael Jordan. So for that comparison, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. Like he likes playing defense as much as offense, which Jordan was always that way. So yeah.
Are you going to go to any games?
We'll see. Like I said, like I don't usually hit them up too much, and I like going to the games, but I also like being at home with my friends.
What do you guys got at your home? Like I'm just so curious because you got to have a nice little pad, dude. And when Pacers get on, we're
we just built like a pool house last year because we had to build the garage because like we're a virtual company, we don't have an office, right? Mm-hmm. So you think we started right before COVID, so we didn't know any better. We do everything virtual, Google Meet and all that. So our house is our world headquarters, which means our garage ends up getting filled up with stuff unless it's at one of our warehouses we rent out. Mm-hmm. And so we had to build an out garage. And then when we did that, we're like, well, we had a pool, but nothing around it. And we're like, well, if we're going to do it, we might as well like go ahead and put a little pool house with a guest house on there. Yeah. That way, if like people need a place to stay, we want to do something, they've got a place to stay there. And so that's kind of become a little bit of a fun little hangout to where we could go and watch the game and shit. Over? Do it anytime, man. You guys need to go to
pull up
like
Indiana
on the way to the lake house.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like
it'd be a nice little stop.
Middle ground. Yeah. Takes about 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Just so disrespectful. Last thing on the playoffs, man, just because we're big basketball heads. I know you texted me about Scotty Scheffler too. Which we talked about on the pod, but it was kind of wild to us that he even got detained or arrested.
I also on the other side of it is if you're in jail, I'm surprised that PJ even let him play.
Right.
Like there has to be some rule. Hey, I just thought like if you get arrested in that day, how are you playing in?
Yeah.
And it probably is like in the station, like, hey, actually, this is Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
What is that? Where was it at? Valhalla?
Yeah, I was at Valhalla. I was actually there the day before. And like funny story there, like we just hired the owner of Valhalla's daughter as an intern.
No way.
So like when we went there and got to meet him, and we were in the members tent hanging out. I've met Scotty, twice. Nice. The cool Scotty, like the
Did
golf.
you see the video of him playing basketball last week?
Yeah, he can hoop.
Yeah,
he can
He's
hoop.
Not bad.
The cool thing about the golf community is most of those guys are really cool guys. Like so, we were the primary sponsor of the PGA Wives Association. They do every 2 years, they do a big fundraiser. Nice. And so our golfer, Roger, his wife, Casey, is the head of the PGA Wives Association. Cool. Every golfer knows the Sloans. And so we went up and we were like, we're going to do this things for charity. And it's out in Arizona, and it's the PGA Wives Classic presented by Mom Water. And usually what happens is the wives play 9 holes and the husbands caddy for them. Right. And it'll be like random guys that show up. So this year the weather sucked, and so no golf was played. But it ended up better because all of the golfers and their wives just hung out in this little place where we were all set up and sampling.
Nice.
So I got to talk to like Tequila, amazing dude, Scotty, amazing dude. But I've met Scotty earlier last year because I got a chance to play a round of golf with Roger Sloan, our golfer. Mm-hmm. And we're in Dallas, and we come out to the car, and we were done playing. I'm in the car with Casey and Jill were in the back, and we're kind of waiting on Roger, and he kind of comes in, he gets in, he's like, sorry about that, I wanted to say hi to Scotty. And I'm like, Scotty? He's like, Scheffler? I'm like, bro, Scotty Scheffler's out there. Why the hell are you not introducing me? So he's like, oh, sorry. So he gets back out, and no shit, Scotty's driving like a 2010 Tahoe. It looked like it's got about 200,000 miles on it, ragged out just like what we would be driving around. Yeah. And super nice guy, talking everything, like just really nice guy. I got a picture with him, and we get back in, and I'm like, that's wild. Like Roger's like, that's him, dude. Won $20 million on tour last year. He's the same dude he always was.
Yeah.
Just a super
Well, they were asking him,
guy.
did you say that? Did you like name drop yourself? He's like, nah, I just got a tea time, dude, at like 7:05.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's him. Like that's not even like a show.
Yeah.
That's him. And
we would have totally, I'm motherfucking Scotty Scheffler, dude.
I'm like, you know what?
They're probably thinking he got a tea time down the road, not at fucking Valhalla.
Exactly. That whole thing was just a train wreck. But yeah, the golf community like that's pretty. When I was there, like the one guy, because Tequila was one of the coolest guys. Whenever I talked to him, I just random. He was just standing by himself, and I'm like, I'm gonna go up and introduce myself.
Yeah.
This thing.
Hey, what do you think about the real quick back to basketball?
Yeah.
And again, just the Knick fan base. That's why we shouldn't like them so much because I even saw like Overtime. Remember, Overtime is headquartered up in New York. You know the social media account Overtime?
No,
they're like a house of highlights or like a Bleacher Report. Third quarter, dude, they're posting a picture of a trash can and like the captions like Knicks right now, and I'm like, that is why no one fucks with the Knicks fan base, dude. Just because they're so.
Well, they
up and
also have
down.
been bad for so long.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just every inch that they get, they'll just take a mile.
So Pat Bev on his podcast
Yeah.
after the game with the whole throwing the basketball at the Indiana Pacers fan, and we talked about this too, didn't even apologize, but I don't know if we want to say play the race card or not because he said that the fan said something that he's never heard in 20 years. But I hope the Pacers fan base ain't doing some shit like that, you know?
I mean, the only thing I heard
But
was he
that's
was
some
like
PR
Cancun on
shit
3,
right
Cancun
there.
on 3, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Like what that's high level trolling. If you're gonna say Cancun on 3, whenever they were, because that's what I heard was when they were doing their huddle break, that this fan was yelling Cancun on 3,
Yeah.
ready break.
I mean, he was just pissed. At the end
I
of the
think
day,
so.
he
I
was
think
just
it's just the
mad.
Did you see the
circumstances.
post-game interview? It was like, you subscribe to the pod? No, you
Oh,
can't
I
interview
know.
me then. Let's play a little game presented by Dad Water.
do it.
And I could just pull up names here. And the original idea was going to be pull up some iconic movie and TV dads from the past and see which character they fit out of the 4 characters here. But maybe we'll play a couple of games here in the meantime. We'll do a little Mount Rushmore of your 4 favorite dads of all time from either movies or TVs, and
Okay.
which one would they be in terms of a Dad Water can?
I will say, I mean, Tim the Toolman Taylor's got to be one, right?
Yeah, well,
From
who is
Ho-
that?
from Home Improvement?
Yeah. He's more of like a
He might,
outgoing a little bit, but kind of like reserved too.
yeah, I was gonna say he's got to either be like the Tom or the Rodney, like
He would
He
be
gets
the
shit
one
done.
in the shed though, just working.
right. That's why
on
I'm
the
thinking.
car.
Like Rodney's kind of like the guy that's like, you know, when you say more power, you know,
Yeah.
that was his thing.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say that would probably be Rodney. I like Al Bundy.
How about
Oh, yeah.
It's hilarious, right?
Yep.
What would Al be though? Like, he would kind of fit that mold a little bit too. This is the problem with Al. I was a big Fresh Prince of Bel-Air guy too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
Uncle
He was
Phil.
more of like an uncle, but he was also a dad. You know, and I feel like he'd probably be more like Steve for some reason.
Steve.
Like he could probably like hoop in his day.
Yeah,
you know?
back
probably
in-
play old man league and still dominate a little bit. You know,
Whip out a move or two and be
Yeah,
like, "Hey, how'd you learn
exactly.
that?"
exactly. What would be another good? I'm trying to think here. Gotta
What do we
think.
got left? Because I've got then a couple good
There
names.
got to
for
be a
you.
Gary, right? So
Yep.
that would be more the creative art, creative mind, probably like music, like likes concerts and shit. That would be Gary. I'm trying to think of some of the really good dads back in the day from that. Some of the shows
It could maybe be a
watch.
music dad too. Then
Yeah, that's true. It could be. I was always big like Metallica fan.
Oh,
these
yeah,
guys
us
are all
too.
good dads. So I would say like, and of those, I like the guitar playing the most. I don't know if Kirk Hammett's a dad, but I'd say Hetfield would probably make a good Gary.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna be rapid fire here, and you don't even have to explain it. But here are the top 100 TV and movie dads ever. I'll probably just name like 5 to 10 here, and you tell me which dad water
Which
they
person
are.
out? All right,
Homer Simpson,
Gary.
Gary, Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Tom. Yeah,
You didn't read the books?
I read it, but it's just been so long. And personality.
Here's a good one: George Lopez,
Lopez, Rodney.
Hank Hill from King of the Hill,
Shit, that's a Tom.
Papa Elf from Elf,
Oh, he's kind of a hardo.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't know if he's
We'll go Steve. He ain't got any love yet.
Steve,
Yeah,
Tom Brady,
that's Steve.
Peter Griffin, Family Guy,
Griffin's great. Gary.
Thomas Wayne from Batman.
I'm I'm gonna go Tom. He's kind of incognito. Yeah, he's kind of. Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Rodney.
Tony Soprano.
Steve.
He also could be.
He could be a Gary too. I don't know.
He's kind of creative.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like Gary.
He could just be.
Might be a Gary on that one.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Mr. Incredible.
Mr. Incredible. Let's do Steve on that one. Yeah.
Noah Levinstein from American Pie.
Oh wow. Is that the like from the movie American Pie?
I think so. Yeah. The guy with the glasses.
Yeah,
remember?
Tom.
Jim Hopper from Stranger Things.
Ooh. Steve.
Chris Gardner from The Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith.
I actually never saw that.
It's one of my favorite movies, man. It's so good.
We'll go creative.
He's creative too.
Gary, that's what I was say. Will Smith's usually.
Forrest Gump.
Tom.
Is he a father though? Let's be honest.
I've never seen Forrest
Well,
Gump.
technically, because Jenny was
That's
pregnant.
what it's got
right?
on here, right?
Jenny was pregnant. She told him
There's
that,
some. There's
but he
some
was never like.
Yeah, there's
remember?
some. That's how they ended. I think.
That's kind of how they ended, where it's assumed that it was the.
Yeah, it was
he'd be
his.
Tom.
All right, last you said Uncle Phil, and that's the 100 right here. But last one, Mufasa from The Lion King.
Mufasa,
He's kind of dangerous.
kind of a leader.
Uh,
I'll go Rodney. A little edge to him. Yeah.
well, dude, Bryce Morrison, founder of Dad Water. Love just chatting with you, dude. I know we worked
absolutely, man.
a couple months ago, and it's kind of cool. Again, we're extremely honored to for you to just come down here. This is like the coolest thing. It's the first thing this is the first time that someone has driven down to Nashville or like traveled to Nashville. I guess we've had maybe a couple people, but not like
We've had like people come on while they're in town,
While
but
they're
never
in town.
just
No,
take
man.
their day away.
It was a pleasure. Like I said, I love this is the first podcast for me too. So it's the first
Dude,
time here.
You're more than
Just
welcome to
enjoy
come
it.
back on.
Oh yeah.
You should have seen our last internal podcast. I'm like, what date is it, dude? And I was like, is it the 21st? Is it the 16th? It's like the 19th, dude. We're just so out of it. We've been on a couple of benders in the past couple of weekends, and I think that's just a cause of the warmer weather.
Yeah.
So with the Dad Water coming into play,
It's coming.
it looks like nothing's stopping here anytime soon. But anything else you just want to shout out, man? Like, I don't know, we talked about some upcoming events. Obviously, where can we find you at? Where can we find Mom Water?
Yeah.
We're in 30 plus states with Dad Water.
Yeah, we are. I mean, usually I tell people like we're pretty like Mom Water, we're prominent. Dad Water take a little bit of time. We've always got store locators on our website, so that's the one thing I always tell people: just go to the website, check it out. Outside that, Dad Water wise, I urge people to give it a shot. Open
please
mind.
do, please.
Yeah,
Don't let tequila scare you, man. Like if you like light beer at all, I think you would be surprised. This could be like a little bit of an alternative. I got some buddies that rock the Busch Light, and then they're like, I just need some water, but I don't want to just drink straight water. So
Yeah.
they kind of alternate, it's totally different. It's light. It's something that you're not going to feel as bad the next day, which is a dad thing. You got to still function. You got to get up the next day and function.
Right.
Like Pacers won the other night. I was like,
Yeah.
tequila shots and Dad Water all night celebrating.
Yeah.
So, but you can still function.
I do have one question to
Yeah.
end it.
And then we'll ask the other question.
Yeah.
But I think I maybe have a couple more. Just go ahead.
Sure.
on the side of like the healthy side of it, is
Yeah.
that something that you really like? Is that like something you think about as the drink, or you try to promote in terms of?
No artificial flavors, no bullshit, no sweeteners, no colors.
For sure. Our goal is to be the cleanest thing in a can in the alcohol world, which we are. Little known fact about both of our products, the calories all come from the alcohol content. Right. There's 1 calorie in each of the cans that doesn't come from alcohol, and it comes from the citric acid. We only use 4 ingredients. We don't put any crap in it. There's no artificial anything in it. It's the simplest thing in a can. It's also the cleanest thing. So for us, again, you go back to, we didn't do it as a business proposition. We did it as something we were trying to make because Jill wanted to drink it, which means we were making every decision based off, like her palate, she's very particular. We made every decision based off that, which was what will you drink, not what we can sell and make money off of.
Right.
We're not.
And that's why they
money
do
hungry.
artificial flavors,
Yeah.
sweeteners, and I'm guessing it's cost effective too. It's
Oh
cheaper
yeah,
to
if
get.
we would have put sodium benzoate as a preservative in there, a lot cheaper. We would have done. There's so many things we could have done. We would have made it malt versus vodka, a lot cheaper, but we would have sacrificed quality, and we didn't want to do that. So we want everybody to know, like, regardless of what the future holds of new innovations and things we do, we're always going to make decisions based off like what is better for you versus not. Because alcohol is a tricky one. Alcohol is obviously not good for you. But we want to be like, if you're drinking it, it's better if you don't have the extra crap.
Do you see that to be the trend to other companies that are trying to do that to be successful, to make it healthier, even though it may cost a little bit more?
I think some are starting to see that. I still think there's, the alcohol world's still controlled by the giants, and a lot of them are still driven by profit margins. Yeah.
It's like the old cigarette companies, right?
Yep. But some, you're starting to see that the industry is dictating what they're bringing out, which is right now the industry is saying just what you said a while ago, Liam, which is like, I'm willing to pay a little bit more for something I know is better quality. Mm-hmm. That's the whole, even though with inflation and everything else going on, people are still like, I'd rather drink less of something that's better than to drink more of something that's not for the same price, right? So,
and it's funny too. Like, we've been talking about finding our drink of choice.
Yeah.
Because I'll go out and I don't know what the hell I'm getting ever. And then just this past weekend, I'm at, like a burger and beer spot, Neighbors in the Gulch. And I'm just drinking beer after beer, and I'm just like, it's all right. But if I drink a Dad water, it's the same calories, if not least, less amount of calories. So, just got to get my shit together. I feel like so.
Yeah, and shout out to like down here, the first bar that brought us in was Doc Holliday's. So we're on, on
really?
Broad, like real close to Broadway. It was so cool when they came in, and like it's kind of like the bar for locals that's on Broadway.
Yeah.
And they're awesome there. And so, every time we come down here, we head to Doc's and buy everybody some. And now we've had a few others open.
Oh, are you guys taking the boat down here?
What's that?
Are you guys taking the boat down here? No.
No.
Is that a dumb question?
There's no.
You can't do it.
I mean,
I'm an idiot.
If you get off one,
You got to
body
go
of
to Chicago.
I mean, there might, I don't know.
I think you got to get
We don't
off
have
of
a boat.
one.
You got to
You
take
can
your
go
boat to Chicago from Indiana, and then you can come down to Tennessee.
What are you talking about?
No, you can't. You got to go all the way fucking. Yeah, I got to.
Talking about Riverwise, trying to get all the way down here.
I know you can get up to Kentucky,
Can you?
and then Kentucky you can get over to like Knoxville area.
Yeah, we live real close to Ohio, which, leads to a a lot of things. There might be a roundabout way.
I don't think you can get it from here.
Idiot.
You're an idiot.
Be in some creeks, maybe.
I was going to say, get off and hop your boat to the next one.
Southern education. We get back to social studies in 7th and 8th grade.
Right.
Last question that we ask at all the our interviews. Bryce Morrison, appreciate you coming on, brother. Man to man, what is the key to success?
I mean, I don't know. Be yourself, man. Believe in what you're doing and just be yourself. I think in a world right now where every social media picture is perfectly cultivated and you're at the right angle and everybody's trying to be like what people expect them to be. And I think like if you're genuine, that's our thing. Like we're genuine and humble. And if you're just genuine, you be yourself. I think that's what people are looking for. I really do. I think like we talked about the pendulum a while ago. I think it's swinging back to where everything went to, I got to keep up with the Joneses. How can I look better? How can I make my life look awesome on social and everything's perfect? I'm like, people look for flaws, man. That's what makes us awesome. Like as humans, we're flawed. That's why we're better than AI. It's supposed to be perfect. Like that's what we are. So just, be genuine, true to yourself, that kind of thing. And just believe in it. Like that's our thing is we just kept saying, we believe in it. And we're just going to keep being ourselves. And we're not afraid to admit we don't know everything.
Yeah.
We're not pretending. I'm not going to pretend to tell people that how they should do something or that I know more than they do. Like this was my path that worked for us. But I think if you're just yourselves, man, that's the best thing. That's what it translates across everything.
2 follow-ups before we end. You being a business owner, how do you like deal with the stress and the balance and having employees and money coming in and just all this shit that's on your calendar and things like that? What's your advice there?
It's tough. I think it just goes to surround yourself with really good people. We hire for who the person is over what they know.
A little personality hire.
Yeah. I mean, we really are. Like our culture is everything. And because we're like, if we're having fun every day, because it's going to be stressful no matter what, whether you're in a management position, whether you're in non-management, whether you're a business owner, like the stress level just kind of keeps going up. And, but if you have good people around you that you trust, they got your back, you got their back, you're not going through it by yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. I think some business owners might like put themselves on an island. They're the owner. Everybody else is the employee.
Yeah.
We try not to do that. There's really like no barrier between us and our employees. We're like, man, we're all same team. Everybody gets paid off the same goals. We don't have individual goals for people. And I think knowing they have our back and there's a trust level there, it's just I think it makes everything a lot better.
Yeah, I love to hear it. And then you got any girl advice for us, dude?
Shit. I've been out of that game for a minute.
Dad to the young son.
21 years
shots,
this year.
dude. And I've been like getting like the bottle service girls' numbers. I'm like, hey, yo, come over. And it's like 2 a.m., dude. And they're just embarrassing myself.
Yeah, we're going to cut that part for sure.
You know,
You think so?
if it were me these days, I think I'd be like, I gravitate towards somebody that's not as much on social media. I don't know.
It's hard.
Right? It's hard. Or that, again, it's that genuine. Like, who's not afraid to like show
What was like
your
the first line that
faults?
you said to your wife?
Technically, well, we were a blind date, and when we met, we walk up, and she didn't realize, I guess, that I was the person she was supposed to meet. And I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, and she's like, "Great." And then she went right back to talking to somebody else. I'm like, "Fuck!" I went to the bar and got a shot. I'm like, "This is not going well." And then after that, you know, it got a lot better. I can't even. I probably can't even think of what I was going to say. Like it was things were meant to be there.
Do you
Man.
ever put like your son on a little bit of game?
What's that?
Your oldest son, like you ever put him on a little bit of game or no, dude?
They just don't screw things up.
Yeah, I'm just like.
Just don't
be
be
cautious.
Don't be like disrespectful and a dick.
Yeah, like I like a little old school. You know, like it's okay to want to open a car door. Like I think some of that stuff is not cool these days. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I think that's it's cool. I think there's still a lot of females out there that probably look at that like being a gentleman. You know,
Yeah.
Just treat them right.
Just
man.
chill out on like following like the
Don't
Instagram
be doing this.
models and shit.
Yeah, don't treat them like P Diddy would.
Hey, no dating. No dating.
Bryce Morrison, founder of Dab Water. Check them out. They're in Tennessee, man. So our followers and listeners, go check them out. We've already got a couple of our boys on it, and
Awesome,
we'll be
man.
pumping it out this summer, just working with you guys. So
Hey, we
appreciate the
appreciate
opportunity,
it.
and thanks for coming in, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, I appreciate
it,
the
man.
opportunity.